Have you ever noticed how tired you feel after explaining yourself again and again, only to feel misunderstood in the end? You say the right words. You give reasons. You stay polite. But somehow, it still isn't enough. And deep inside, something feels wrong. What if the real problem is not what you say, but why you feel the need to say it at all? In this short story from English Story Archive, you'll discover a simple truth that most people learn too late in life. Stay with me till the end, because the final lesson may completely change how you protect your peace, your confidence, and your self-respect. Let me tell you about a man named Daniel. He was not weak. He was not lazy. He was kind, thoughtful, and sincere. But Daniel had one habit that slowly drained his energy. He explained everything. If he said no, he explained why. If he chose a different path, he explained his reasons. If someone misunderstood him, he rushed to clear it up. Daniel believed that if people understood him better, they would respect him more. So he kept talking. He kept justifying. He kept proving. What Daniel did not realize was this simple truth. The more he explained himself, the smaller he began to feel inside. At first, Daniel did not notice the damage. It happened slowly. After every long explanation, he felt tired. After every defense of his choices, he felt unsure. People listened, nodded, and then still judged him anyway. Some questioned his decisions again and again. Some doubted him no matter how clear he was. Some never really listened at all. Daniel began to replay conversations in his head at night. He wondered what he should have said better. He blamed himself for being misunderstood. Without realizing it, Daniel was giving away something valuable. His peace, his confidence, and his time. Daniel often told himself he was just being polite. He thought explaining was the right thing to do. He feared that silence would make people think he was rude, careless, or wrong. So he spoke. He clarified. He defended. Deep down, Daniel wanted one simple thing: to be understood, to be accepted, to be seen as a good person. But the more he tried to control how others saw him, the more control he lost over himself. His words started to feel heavy. His confidence started to depend on reactions. Daniel did not know it yet, but this need to explain was not kindness. It was fear, quietly wearing a friendly mask. Before the story goes deeper, pause for a moment. If Daniel's struggle feels familiar, you're not alone. Many good people carry this habit without realizing how heavy it becomes over time. If stories like this help you reflect, grow, and feel understood, take a second to support the channel. Like this video and subscribe to English Story Archive. It helps these stories reach people who truly need them. Now stay with me. Because what happens next is the moment Daniel never expected. A small situation. A few simple words. And a lesson that slowly begins to change how he sees himself and how others see him too. One evening, Daniel shared a simple decision with someone he trusted. As usual, he started explaining. He talked about his reasons. He added details. He tried to make everything clear. Then something unexpected happened. The other person gently raised a hand and said, "You don't have to explain. I heard you." Daniel stopped mid-sentence. The room felt quiet. His heart felt fast. For the first time, he noticed how quickly he rushed to defend himself, even when no attack was coming. That single sentence stayed with him. It echoed in his mind. And for the first time, Daniel wondered if explaining had become a habit, not a necessity. That night, Daniel could not sleep easily. The words kept returning to his mind. You don't have to explain. They sounded simple, but they felt heavy. He began to question himself. Why did he speak so fast when making choices? Why did silence make him uncomfortable? Why did he feel guilty for deciding something on his own? Daniel realized something important. No one had asked him to defend himself most of the time. He was doing it automatically. For the first time, he saw the pattern clearly. Explaining was not protecting him. It was exhausting him. And that realization quietly opened the door to a different way of living. A few days later, Daniel faced a familiar situation. Someone questioned his decision, waiting for the long explanation he usually gave. His heart beat faster. The old habit pushed him to speak. But this time, he paused. He took a breath. And instead of explaining, he simply said, "This is what works for me." Then he stopped. The silence felt uncomfortable at first. His hands felt tense. His mind raced. But something surprising happened. The other person nodded and moved on.
No argument.
No pressure. Daniel felt something new in his chest. Relief. For the first time, he realized that silence did not make him weak. It made him free. After that moment, Daniel started noticing small changes. When he spoke less, people listened more. When he stopped justifying, his words carried more weight. Some people respected his boundaries. Others quietly stepped back. And that was okay. Daniel understood something important. Not everyone needs an explanation. Not everyone deserves access to your thoughts. The right people do not demand proof of your worth. With fewer words, Daniel felt calmer, lighter, more grounded. He no longer replayed conversations at night. He no longer feared being misunderstood by everyone. By stopping the need to explain, Daniel wasn't losing connections. He was protecting his peace. Daniel slowly learned a truth that no one had ever taught him. You do not owe everyone a full explanation of your life. Your choices do not need approval to be valid. And your silence does not mean you are wrong. He realized that confident people do not rush to defend themselves. They stay calm. They speak clearly. Then they let go. Explaining too much often comes from fear of judgment. But peace comes from self-trust. When you trust yourself, you stop chasing understanding from people who never wanted to understand you in the first place. This lesson did not make Daniel loud or proud. It made him steady. And that steadiness changed everything around him. Now, take a moment and think about your own life. How many times have you explained yourself, hoping someone would finally understand? How often have you felt tired after speaking, not because you said too much, but because you said it to the wrong people? Here is the truth Daniel learned, and it applies to you too. You can be kind without over-explaining. You can be respectful without proving yourself. And you can choose peace without guilt. The next time you feel the urge to defend every choice, pause. Ask yourself one simple question. Is this explanation coming from clarity or from fear? That single pause can change how you feel about yourself. As time passed, Daniel noticed something deeper changing inside him. He no longer felt the need to prepare answers before speaking. He no longer feared being misunderstood by everyone. His calm became his strength. When people questioned him, he stayed steady. When they disagreed, he stayed respectful. And when silence appeared, he did not rush to fill it. This quiet confidence surprised even Daniel himself. He felt more in control of his emotions, more present in conversations, more at peace with his choices. He finally understood this truth. You do not gain respect by explaining everything. You gain respect by trusting yourself enough to stand still, even when others expect you to speak. Before we reach the end, let me ask you something honest. Have you ever felt drained after trying to explain yourself to someone who had already made up their mind? If yes, you are not alone. Many people live this story every single day. If Daniel's journey reflects even a small part of your life, I'd love to hear from you. Share your thoughts in the comments. Your words may help someone else feel understood. And if you know someone who is always explaining, always proving, always apologizing for being themselves, share this story with them. Sometimes, one simple story is enough to change how a person sees their own worth. If there is only one thing you take from this story, let it be this. You do not need to explain your worth to anyone. The people who respect you will listen. The people who don't, never will. Daniel stopped wasting energy on endless explanations. And in return, he gained something priceless. Peace, confidence, and clarity. The next time you feel pressure to justify your choices, remember his story. Choose calm over chaos. Choose self-trust over approval. Thank you for spending this time with English Story Archive. If this message stayed with you, carry it forward. Sometimes, the strongest voice is the one that knows when to stay silent.